Yeah, today we are discussing about the C programming and the storage classes by D. Ravi Kumar. Let me introduce myself. This is D. Ravi Kumar, MTech, did MTech, IISc Bangalore. I'm having around 20 years of IT experience. Let us discuss about the storage classes. What are the storage classes available in the C program? These storage classes will be useful daily in our life while programming. There are four storage classes in our C programming. Daily we see while coding. One is the auto storage class. Second one is the static storage class. Third one is the external storage class. Fourth one is the register storage class. Fifth one is the type def storage class. Each storage class have a significance importance while programming. So many people don't know the what is the auto, what is the static, how we can use the uses of these storage classes, external storage class, register storage, when we can use the register storage classes, when we can use the type def storage classes. These things some of the people don't know. It is better to know the storage classes. We'll let us see the one by one. Auto, static, and external register and type def storage class. Yeah, let us discuss about the auto storage class first. The auto storage class is the variables by default can be declared as variables as local variables. The local variables are called as auto storage classes. Generally, we'll call it as a auto local variables, but it is on terminology wise auto. There is no difference between local variables and auto variables. The auto local variables have a block scope, temporary storage, and no linkage, and memory economically used. And coming to for example, if you write in a main program, inside the main, if I write int a, I am printing the printf %d/n a. The a is having the garbage value because a is not initialized. If a is not initialized, some garbage value will be stored. It is auto variable. We can declare as a int a is equal to 10, int a is equal to 15, int a is equal to 12. That will be if it is not if auto variable is not local variable is not declared, by default it is having the garbage value. This is about the auto variables. So many examples are there. In the coming lessons, we are coming to what are the auto variables and other storage classes. We are coming to the other storage classes. Yeah, now let us discuss about the static variables. What are the static variables in the C programming? The static variable is to declare the static variable, you need to use the keyword is the static in the C program. The static variable, there are two types of static variable. One is the internal static variable, another one is the external static variable. It has the internal static variable has a persistent storage, block scope, no linkage, and external static variable having the persistent storage. It has a storage and internal linkage. It has the file scope. It is nothing but the file scope. By default, static variables are initialized to 0. No need to initialize to 0. Generally, auto variables, local variables needs to be initialized to some value. Otherwise, it will be garbage value will be stored in the local variables. But here no need to initialize the programmer, automatically initialize to 0. It has the static variable having their own advantage. Suppose if you see the program include a main program, I have declared the static int a is equal to 10 external, and inside static int b is equal to 20 and return 0. Here int a is equal to 10 is the external static variable. It has the file scope and a linkage, but internally static int a int b is equal to 20 has a internal static variable. The static variable generally it will be stored in the RAM section. It will not be stored in the stack. In coming videos, I will show where static variable will be stored, where local variable will be stored, in which section, in which memory point it will be stored. I will explain in detail. Yeah, let us discuss about the external storage classes. The external storage classes, most of the in heavy project, if guys are working in the big project, it will be so useful. The external storage class, it has some important properties called as a persistent storage. It has a file scope, external linkage. How, let us see how external storage keyword will be used in our daily programming. For example, I have the file1.c and I have the file2.c. In the file1.c, include stdio.h and int a is equal to 100 main. Inside the body I have written the, for example. Here int a is equal to 100 is the external. I have defined the external variable, basically external variable. Here I am not using any external keyword here in the file1.c. Let us see how we can access the external variable in file2.c. Suppose, for example, in file2.c I have declared hash include stdio.h action int a, and inside I am printing the external printf external percent %d and a. Return is equal to 0. Here I am here %d. Here I'm invoking that file already declared the variable in file1.c int a is equal to 100, and I'm invoking the using the action keyword action int a. I'm calling the wherever the guys are recorded in the file2.c, that they can be accessed in the file1.c file. This is about the external keyword. The external keyword is that it has its own advantages. Basically, it has the variable definition. Variable definition will be in the file1.c. Variable declaration in the file2.c. It has its own storage. It is the one of the important storage classes. Guys, if you want any more things, you can comment on our YouTube link, and I will respond quickly. My response will be I will respond immediately on the same YouTube link. I am having the more than 20 years of experience in the IT industry, like C and C++ programming techniques. If any new guys or new joiners are they want to learn C programming quickly, it is very helpful. These concepts are very helpful. Instead of just by hearting, and instead of buying and by hearting and writing the examinations and going for the interviews, the first should know the concepts. In interviews, interviewer can ask different questions in the different ways, in the different directions. To address all these interviewer questions, you should know the concept thoroughly. Yeah, this is the one of the important storage called register storage class. The register storage class is the scope. It has a scope and a longevity. Linkage like auto variables. Register storage class is limited to it depends upon the processor registers. Basically, values are stored in the CPU registers instead of main memory. Generally, if you declare any variable, this will be stored in the main memory RAM. The keyword keyword it will be used as a register. Yeah, here the advantage of the register storage classes are that due to the non-availability of the CPU registers, the register variables may be treated as a auto variables. Here, this is the limitation of the registers. Basically, registers are in any CPU. If you take any 8-bit microprocessor and 16-bit microprocessor and a 32-bit microcontroller, it has these CPUs having the limited number of registers. Suppose if you take the 8-bit register 8051 microcontroller, this microcontroller having the 8 registers. Suppose we can store as only 8 numbers in these registers. Out of 8 numbers, we can automatically it will stored as a local variables. This is the limitation of the register variable. Generally, programmers those are working in the small boot code and writing some hardware dependent code. They will use the register variables. Here, the register variables are faster. The advantage of the register variables faster access than the other variables, resulting the faster execution of the program. The program will be executed fastly because of the values will be stored in the CPU registers instead of the RAM. This is the advantage of the registers variable. Let's look the program, how the program of the register variable look like. Yeah, let us see about the programming. How the programming. Generally, it will be declared as a register keyword. Register int a. It has the quicker access. Suppose if you declare a int a, it will be registered in the CPU registers. The CPU registers are the 32-bit registers. If 32-bit registers, it will be stored in the 32-bit register value. This A value. It might be stored in a register. The registers depending on the hardware and implementation restrictions. It purely depends on the hardware. How many registers are available, how many registers are not available. Some of the CPUs are available having the 32 registers, some of the 16. Some registers are 8-bit CPU having the 8 registers. Yeah, this is the fifth one is the type depth storage class. It has its own advantage. Basically, the type depth storage class is create the user defined data types. It will be generally it will be used for the user defined data types. It renames the existing data types. For example, let us see the how it will work, how the real time usage of the type depth storage class. If a type depth storage class type depth unsigned char on u int a. I'm no need to call the here. I'm no need to call the unsigned int char every time. Here I will call in my programming u int a. Here second one is the type def unsigned start int. Here this is the unsigned u int 16-bit. Because of 16 I am given here because of the it will note for the 16-bit. Is unsigned carry the 8-bit only. Here the type def unsigned int u int 32. The 32 means unsigned int is the 4 bytes. The 4 bytes means 32-bit value. Like this, the advantage of the type def is the each storage class having its own advantage. Each storage class, if you these are the type def, I am declaring as the programmers can directly the programmers can use this one unsigned int 32, u int 16, u int 8. No need to call every time. No need to declare the type def. Just generally these things will be defined in the header file of our project. Any experienced programs, any new joiners, newcomers, better to learn these things. These are more helpful in our daily usage in the daily programming. This is what guys up to we learned about the different storage class. One storage class is the auto storage class, local variables, that is the static storage class, and register storage class, extra. And this is the type def storage class. I think these things are most helpful. In coming videos, I will provide the complete details in C programming and other things also. If you require, if you want any doubts, if you are having any doubts, comment on my YouTube link, and I will respond immediately. Thank you guys very much.